This day is Zohar Pshat day 20. It's a very sad day in Klal Yisrael today. 10 soldiers were killed by enemies in Machshmam Zichram. Our learning of the Zohar Kodesh should be Lilu Nishmosam, and it's close for our soldiers who are fighting our enemies in Machshmam Zichram. And we should see Yeshuos in the Chamas. Today we're doing Daf Gimel Amar Aleph. We're up to Lois Mem, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down. After Gimel Amar Aleph. Alas us Mem. Mem came in. Amar Kam Kame. Ribon Amar Nichel Kamach. Ribe Amar Dbiis Karis Melech. Great word, great letter. Letter Mem. Mem for Melech. And Kosh Baruch is going to be Melech on the world. Ki Lashem Amlucha Moshe Bagoyim. So now everything is still Malchus Hashem. That's the whole point of the world, the Malchus Hashem. So of course, Melech is a great letter to go first. Amar Lahachi Hu Vadai. So Kosh Baruch said, you're right. Sure. Tachlis of the world is create Malchus Shamayim. Avo lo yivrach ba'alma, but I can't create the world. But the alma itztich lamelech, because the world needs a king. So there's two possibilities here. One is that the king has to remain separate, distinct from the world. And it's yes, ein melech below am, but there has to be a difference between the melech and the am. So the melech stands above, right, and therefore he's not coming down into this world. That could be one level of Pshat. But I think that the idea is that the melech, also, since a melech below am, you can't have a melech before you have an am upon which to be the king. Now, it says, Shlomo melech sof melech al maklo. There's such a concept as being having a king without a nation. But first he was a king. And then even the sof melech al maklo. So there's the am, which coronates the king, and then there's the king. So the Kosh Baruch Hu says, your place is after the Bria. After the Bria exists, so then the Bria is Mamlich HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Bria is just like the Am is Mamlich the Melech. So therefore we don't start with you. We start with the Nimlachim. Then they're Mamlich the Melech. So the Ant Tuvla, so I'll go back to the base. Ant, and not just you. Vilamed v'chof. The lam and the chof together. It's not appropriate for the world to exist without a king. So that sounds more like the first pshat. In other words, the king can't go down to the world. The world has to exist, and it has a king on top of it. But it could also be that the world can't exist without a king who's separate, who comes afterwards. It's not, it doesn't fit in the words as well, but I think it could also somehow make it into the words too. Okay, but so the mem, lam, and the chaf in one fell swoop are eliminated, but the chaf's not happy. The chaf comes along and says, B'yishayt now the good os chaf me'al kursei kavod. Chaf came down from the kisei of kavod, from its kisei of kavod. In other words, the kavod is represented by the letter kaf. And his dazes trembled. Farmer said, "Come said, if we bought Alma, what do you mean? The whole world is covered Hashem, right? So the world is covered Hashem. So then I should be there. Okay, maybe the mem not, maybe the lama not. But how could you have to go cover it? Shemayim Saming Kvod Kel. This is what it's all about, right? So how can you create it without the kaf? Kanach the kaf me'alku stedi karei, and when the kaf came off its kisa covered, is dazu the shuk masan elef almin, 200,000 worlds shook. Because daza karsaya, and the throne itself shook. Because almin is daza the minpal, the whole world shook, was going to fall. Without covered Hashem, what do you mean? The Torah is covered Hashem. How could it possibly be that covered is not the with what you create the world? What are you doing here? I'm not going to create the world with you. Go back to your place. Because you represent Kloya, destruction. Kol of Nechratza. It's Pasuk in Yeshaya. Ishtama. The Kol Nechritza is heard through you. Tuv l'karsayach v'avei tamon. Go back to your place and remain there. Pshat nafkas kamei, immediately the Chav left. The Tavas l'duchta went back to its place. So yeah, Kavod is Hashem is very important, but Kav represents Kloya, destruction as well. If something is not, it's interesting because Kala is Yom Kolos Moshe, their perfection. But the opposite of Kala is Kloya. Like it's not saying it's not Kol, it can be destruction. Fascinating. Dover Bipucho. And in our trust etymological dictionary, we have that Kala can mean to complete by Chul Shemai V'Aretz. It can mean to strive. It can mean to yearn. It can mean to desire. Interesting usage. It can mean putting an end. It can mean destroying completely. It's interesting to the kidney, to the organ of yearning. And also represented here is a little bit of a stretch, but sky blue, the color of the horizon. And here it has also daughter-in-law, completes the family. That's the right color. So yes, kavod can bring perfection, but kavod can also bring kloya. If the kavod is appropriate, I should say, if the completion is appropriate, then it's a kavod. But if the completion is not appropriate, then it's the total destruction and annihilation. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Kaf, yeah, you represent completion and perfection and the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But also, if the honor is not achieved, you represent Kaloya. And we don't want the world to begin with a potential Kaloya where the fact that it doesn't achieve the Kavod Hashem automatically leads to its destruction. So therefore, it would be, the Kavod can be perfection, but it can also represent a tremendously harsh Midas Adin, where the construction is complete as opposed to the perfection being complete. You're not the letter with which going to make the world. And even though the world is needs Isaiah, everybody's shocked, how can that be covered Hashem? Have you 200,000 worlds moved? Whatever the symbolism is. No, Kaf goes away.